How are we, my friends? You are very welcome along to another frustrated edition of the Anfield Agenda podcast. Delighted to say I'm joined as always by Mr. Chris Donage and Mr. Conor Crosby. And gentlemen, somehow that was worse than the Forest game, and that's not a sentence I thought I'd be uttering after a midweek game against PSV Eindhoven in the Champions League. Before we get into the criticisms, of which there will be many, I think it's only right for us, Chris, to give a few words of praise for our opponents because they played some good football. They had great patterns of play. They were able to play around the half-hours press that we had, and they punished us. So, it's easy, and we will get into criticizing our own team, but I think it's only fair that we start off by praising Bosch and that PSV Eindhoven side.
Yeah, well done, PSV. That's great.
It's about as much as I have in me as well, Chris. I can't lie to you.
Oh, well, yeah, they did play well. Like, let's not get around it, but yeah, I don't care. Let's move on.
Things are bad, folks. When Mr. Happy below us here, Mr. Optimistic is saying he doesn't care and things have gotten bad. I mean, Conor, I said going into this game that PSV Eindhoven are no great shakes, and I stand over that. They were there for the beating, and yet somehow they were quite literally singing always look on the bright side of life to Liverpool fans on the bench. Their fans were brilliant, by the way. I have to say, their fans were absolutely, the banter levels was top notch. I'll give them the respect. But your thoughts on their performance?
Yeah, the best. That's pretty much it, wasn't it? Like, it's hard to know how good they were and how shit we were because it probably was a mix of both. But look, it's a historic event for them, isn't it? Like, that is going to be one of the big results in their history. So fair play to them. But yeah, it's hard to just say anything, even positive about other teams at this point. As football in general is just ruined at this point. But yeah, they just ripped us to shreds, didn't they? Like, we just weren't good whatsoever. Like, we were all right for maybe 20 minutes, but beyond that, it was just horrendous again. And yeah,
Conor, I thought of you when they scored their winning goal because I remember you saying on the last podcast about Gus Till saying, "Oh, we can't be afraid of Gus Till." Which fucker scores the winner, Conor?
He scored the second goal, didn't he?
Many winners, Chris. There's a few winners there.
We should be afraid of Gus Till. We should be afraid of everyone. But yeah, played really well, I have to say.
7-3 on aggregate, though, over 2 seasons against them.
We're their bitches, aren't we, at this point?
It's getting to the point now where I'm relabeling this podcast as a health group or a men's shed. I'm looking for government funding at this point.
Can we do like a league owner emergency meeting? This what this should be called now.
Well, there hasn't been enough of those at Anfield. If I'm being quite honest with you, Conor, there hasn't been enough league owner style emergency meetings because apparently there was a meeting today, gents, and we go again. What's the outcome, Chris?
My goodness, it's like going back to Rodgers' days, isn't it? Like we go. How do you go again from that?
At least with Rodgers, though, you had an exciting brand of football at times.
Yeah, probably similar levels of delusion as well. Yeah, it's insane, really. I don't know how, and this is someone, as you have said in previous podcasts, I've said it. I don't like doing this. We don't like what's going on here, but like this is getting like if you carry on with something like this, it gets toxic quick, and legacies can be ruined. Like I will never forget what the manager's done for us in terms of winning the league, and in terms of the way he's responded to pretty well the Jota tragedy and the stuff that happened at the parade. Like that, the way that he responded to both of those has been great. But like in terms of the football, like his legacy is getting tarnished very quickly. It's historically bad. How can you bounce back from that? You can't. You literally can't.
You can't. But here's the thing that's annoying me, gents, and I'd like both of your opinions on this. Part of my rant last night was against journalists, was against media outlets, was against pundits. And the reason why is we've got Steven Gerrard and Steve McManaman to start, saying it's too early to sack the manager. We've got the lads at the Echo and many other journalists that cover Liverpool saying it's any talk of sacking the manager is too early. How? This is what I don't understand, Conor. What are they seeing, mate, that you and I and many other Liverpool fans aren't seeing that gives them even an inkling that this may or is starting to turn around? It feels like a really good example of it's got to get a lot worse before it gets any better. And look, I'm open to being corrected if somebody can show me a metric or something that shows that this is turning. But when I hear the manager, mate, saying things like, we nearly made it 2-2, and then we did make it 2-2, and then they went and scored more. I mean, it's clutching at straws for me, and I'd like to know if you think there's any redeemable features happening here, or anything that I'm missing or others are missing that justifies not sacking Arne Slot.
Along similar lines, like Arne said basically after the game, like, oh, I took off Kanate and brought on Chiesa when we went 3-1 down. And the next time it happens, I will do it again. Like, why are we talking about being down 3-1 again? Like, it's just ridiculous. The stuff coming out of his mouth is ridiculous. And like you said, I can't think of a single thing at this point that would suggest it's going to turn around other than blind optimism, which seems to be where the pundits and the likes of Gerrard, like, I can understand to a point, like, they don't want to come out and absolutely rip him to shreds, but to suggest we're not at the point of even starting to question him is ridiculous. Like, the starting to question him part was at least a month ago, and we're far beyond that now. We're at the point where it's not recoverable from this point, ultimately. Like, the results have been too bad. The general performances have been horrendous, and the damage has already been done, and it's only going to get worse. So I think we just need to get rid of him, because it's going to really sour and bitter the relationship we have with Slot. Like, I think if he goes at this point, we can still remember some of the happy times. We can remember the fact we won the league and stuff. But from here on out, it's just going to be so toxic and bitter if results don't start turning around very quickly. So I don't see a way back. But yeah, it's just blind optimism at this point if people say he shouldn't be gone.
Chris, Jamie Carragher the other day said he was surprised when he left, or when he spoke to his friends, his family, and people that were at the game against Forest, that so many people didn't have the manager's future in their minds. They wanted rid of him. He said it's too early to think about sacking the manager. Also, Jamie Carragher last night, when he wasn't in front of the Sky Sports camera fully, oh my God, Kanade, watch Kanade here. Oh my God, I fucking had enough. That Kanade, that's a sackable offence for fucking picking him. Should be sacked for that. So this is what I'm talking about with how they really feel and what they're saying in front of the Sky Sports cameras when they know that they've got to interview the manager or speak with him in the future. That's how he feels. That's how I feel. That's how everybody feels. The only difference is we're actually saying it out loud in front of our cameras and giving our genuine opinions. That wound me up something fierce, because I don't disagree with them, but you can't then come out and say, talk of sacking him silly, when that's your emotional response.
Yeah, exactly. I think when especially around me at the Forest game, like that was the turning point massively. And I mean, like, look, we can't, if results aren't going our way, but we're playing well, it's slightly different. But these last few games, City, then Forest especially, then last night, back to back. I think that's totally turned what I would say the layman Liverpool fan thinks. Honestly,
it's 10 goals conceded, Chris, and one with three 3-goal losses back to back.
Exactly. Has that happened in our history before? I don't know the stat, but has that ever happened? Like,
well, there was a stat that said that 3-0 back-to-backs was the first since 1950 something. So I don't know if you could throw in another 3-goal defeat after that, how long you'd have to go back.
This is what I meant by saying, like, you can't come out of this. Like, unfortunately, you're so far gone in this scenario that there's no way you're coming back. And if you do come back, it will take months and years to rebuild the sort of relationship, because the performances are just so abhorrently bad. Liverpool Football Club cannot be doing this. Like, we can't be acting like a small club and saying like, oh, it'll be all right, it will get better, because it won't. I honestly, I'm willing to prove me wrong, but it is just going to carry on if we're going to continue playing the way we are. It just is. I mean, it's statistically being proven consistently. You know, this season, this year, I'll whip out the stat that my mate sent me earlier, right? Whip it out. Liverpool have only won 51% of the matches this year, 2025 calendar year. Okay. We've conceded 2 or more goals in 21 matches. Like, you can't win matches by conceding 2 or more goals. It just doesn't work like that. We can't score to start with. We're actually way underperforming our XG. We can't score and we can't defend. That seems like 2 pretty big fundamentals.
Yeah, you would imagine. Yeah, you would think that they're quite important in any era of football. Yeah, look, I want to say it's not all on the manager, Connor. You know, there are players there that are hugely underperforming as well. But, you know, and people have been pointing that out to me, but we know how football works. You don't go in there and sack 10, 11 players. The manager is the one that ultimately gets held responsible. And then the players are gradually whittled out bit by bit as the club can find new homes for them, the ones that they feel just aren't cutting it. What do you think, Connor? Where is most of the blame to lie here? Is it at the feet of the manager, or is there enough to go around?
Well, obviously, yeah, there's a little bit to go around. Like you see, like how bad Kanate has been, for example. You see Salah dropping off, but then when you keep rewarding bad performances, can you put all the blame on the players? Like, fair enough, Salah hasn't been good, but if it was a good man management area, you'd take him in and out to build up his confidence. But he's just not doing that. Like, he's letting him on the pitch, leaving him there as he's stinking it up, and just not changing anything. We're not tweaking the formation or the system to help these players get back to form. And then you have the likes of Chiesa not getting rewarded, Rio and Gamoja not getting any minutes. So I think even if you do put blame on the players, you can still bring that back to the manager. And even in terms of, like, I've seen people saying, like, we can't blame set pieces on Slot because Aaron Briggs' department is that, basically. But then still, ultimately, the buck does stop with the manager. So, like, if Aaron Briggs isn't doing the job, get rid of him. And I'm not blaming Aaron Briggs, I've no idea. But, like, if that's a problem, change that. Like, if Slot doesn't have to go, someone has to go. Maybe Van Bronckhorst is a problem. I don't know. But, like, something has to change. If not Slot, then we need wholesale changes in the coaches and everything, because something's not right and someone has to go. And like you said, like, it's much easier to change manager and get someone who can get you out these players than changing 10 or 11 players. So I think obviously there is blame to go around, but 98.5% of it is probably on Slot at this point.
Chris, I wanted to talk about Messrs. Hughes and Edwards for a moment, because there was a piece doing the rounds today, and I got to say, take it with a pinch of salt, that said that the manager wanted to keep Diaz. He was overruled by Hughes, who thought the transfer fee on the table was worth considering. But on top of that, I wonder, do you think there's any bravado here that they don't want to admit they maybe made a mistake with Hughes and Edwards in sticking with Slot through this? They want to they're just kind of cutting their nose off to spite their face at this point.
Maybe. I'm still of the firm opinion that Diaz wanted to leave. Like,
he definitely did, mate. 100%.
Like, and that I don't think the blame goes to either Slot or to Hughes and Edwards. I think if Diaz wanted to go, then you let a player go. I'm firmly of the opinion that should be the case. But what the thing that's winding me up, this going round, is like we're trying to just find so many different factors. But as Connor said, unfortunately, the buck stops with the manager in every single one of them, whether it's players' performances, whether it's recruitment, whether it's set pieces. Realistically, it all falls down to him, and he is the one guy that we can make a marked change. I mean, the one thing I wanted to throw in, I know we've spoken about the game, but what idiot plays Kirkes as an inverted fullback? Like, I was watching him yesterday, Craig, and it was just painful. When Gakpo's cutting inside and Kirkes is already on the inside, that's a systematic thing. Like, what Salah and Gakpo are so predictable every single time. We've said it all season. That's down to the manager. So I think we can blame Hughes and Edwards as much as you want, really, but that's where the book stops. The manager.
Agreed. The manager puts them out there. The manager picks the formation. The manager picks the tactics. And you know what was really interesting to look at, gents? PSV played with a swagger, and they played like they moved the ball so sharply. They understood. You could see the rondos that are worked on in the training ground, the little triangles to get around presses. It was simple, but we let them do it because we weren't up in their face. We weren't pressuring them. To hear Connor, to hear Arne talk about the fact that Ekitike had a sore back for the start of the second half was why the whole press wasn't great. I mean, I don't know what he was watching in the first half, but I'm not having that. It's just more nonsense.
That's clearly the problem. Ekitike's back must have been sore since March. That's
from carrying our fucking team.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, it's just excuses. Like, fair enough, it's not helpful to have a player with a sore back running around, but to blame the switch in momentum or whatever in the game on that is ridiculous. Like, it is just clutching at straws at that point. And like, again, the stuff that comes out of his mouth the last few weeks, like, it all just is excuses. And he just doesn't know how to turn it around. And I think it ultimately just keeps coming back to that, which is just so sad because, like, again, we don't want to be having these conversations, but he's just not up to scratch, really. And yeah, I think even if we do start to play better, I think ultimately the trust is gone. Like, we no longer, as a fan base, trust Arne Slot to lead this team into the future. Like, that's the base of it, really. Like, I think it is just got to the point where that trust is gone.
Do you think, Connor, that he ever really won the fan base over? I mean, I know we're comparing him with a godlike figure in the club's modern history in Jurgen, but I never felt that there was a real connection there with the cop in particular. I felt like it was almost forced a little bit.
Yeah, I think, like, we obviously do love him as a man, and like the character he is at most times, like he's a good man, and the things like around Jota's passing and the parade last year, like he is a top class man in that regard. But as in terms of like the passion on the sideline and stuff, like there is no real draw in. Like Jurgen Klopp was just the epitome of a father figure, really. Like every single fan of Liverpool sees Jurgen Klopp as a second father figure, and he really just took us all in under his wing almost, which Arne Slot doesn't do or hasn't done. Which, to be fair, like most managers don't have that effect in all honesty. So I don't want to like criticize Slot for that, but definitely he wouldn't have the same depth of love, let's say, as Jurgen Klopp would have in terms of forgiveness and getting through poor results. Like, to sum it up, I wouldn't watch Arne Slot blind ranking American foods on Instagram, but Kloppo had it up this morning, and I watched every single second of it, and won't be doing that for Arne.
I was just about to say, I was just about to bring that up. I mean, that's my manager out there ranking American type foods. Chris, I wanted to come to you about the connection. I want to get your thoughts on that because you go to matches regularly, so I want to get your thoughts on the fans' connection to him. But I also wanted to ask, what the hell has happened to Salah and Virgil this season? I mean, look, we'll get into the manager question first, and then I'll come back to you for the Salah and Virgil one. But yeah, your thoughts, because you were at the games quite a bit.
Yeah, look, I love Arne Slot. I still do. Like, unfortunately, which is why it's heartbreaking to me to do this, because like that stepping into those shoes was an impossible task. And whatever happens this season, he's passed with flying colours because he won us the Premier League. Unfortunately, that you can just see there's just something's just happened. I don't know what it is, but there needs to be a change, and he's going to be the guy. He's going to be the full guy, which is okay. Like, he hasn't failed as Liverpool manager. I think we need to make that clear. Like, as a whole, like, he has been a success because he's won us the Premier League. Like, Jurgen only won us one Premier League, so in 1 out of 1 season is not too bad, right? But on the flip side, I can immediately feel the change. I think we can all immediately feel the change. I think it was probably before the Forest game. I think we were maybe 80-20 we're saying Slot in. I think it's flipped now. Like, I think it's totally flipped, and to lose the fan base in 2 games shows how bad they were.
And on the Salah and VVD thing, I mean, let's start with Virgil because he's the captain. Straight away, he gave away that penalty last night, and the irony of it that I found hilarious, Chris, was he said he was pushed 2 seconds after he shoved the fella in front of him to get him out of the way to get the ball. And even at that, I still don't know how his arm was that high. If my goalkeeper was able to get up that high to punch a ball out, I'd be quite impressed with it. I don't know what on earth he thought he could say to the referee that was going to change that.
I thought he was appealing for a foul.
That was it, yeah. He had a hand straight up for the foul as the ball hurtles
as the ball went past. It's so brain dead, wasn't it? I saw a few things yesterday from Van Dijk which were very uncharacteristic. I've never really seen him jump into a tackle like he did against the lad on the sideline. Do you remember?
His head wasn't right, was it? You could see he was
really trying to get
or frustrated.
Yeah, I think it all came down from the penalty at the start. And at the start of the match, we just started it like so poorly with Marmadash. Marmadash really had the ball so long, like just for no reason. We were just sort of stuck at the edge, and you can tell Van Dijk was getting frustrated. I actually think he's been okay this season, to be honest. Like compared to the rest of them, he's still been below par for his standards, but I think he's been okay. And he's been sort of dragging up the other centre half. To be honest, I think that's been the issue, and Kirk is on the left hand side as well. Salah, I mean, I said it's just predictable, isn't it? It is predictable every single time, and sometimes without a proper right back coming in, I think Salah really, really suffers, like even more than he has done. Because I think when we've seen Bradley and him link up, it actually looks okay, but when Szoboszlai's there, he just looks completely out of it.
So I'm going to say something kind of that I've said all week. I think the manager's scared to stand up to Mo. I do. I think he's scared of what that would entail and the pressure that will come on from the media and the scrutiny. And also, the fact that Mohamed Salah wasn't dragged off that pitch for their second goal within 15 seconds is nothing short of a disgrace. And fair play to Didi Hamann, I believe on Irish TV, where you actually get a bit of freedom to speak your mind. I mean, you don't really know what we're talking about here, Chris, but the pundits on Irish TV that cover football over the years, they don't hold back. They're very, very honest and blunt in their assessments. And Didi Hamann said that Salah should have been dragged off the pitch. And if anybody doesn't know what we're speaking about, second goal, PSV Eindhoven player strolls by Mohamed Salah in midfield. And Salah makes zero attempt to challenge him or to track back. And therein lies the problem that Chris was talking about. Just no cover at fullback. And that attitude absolutely stinks from a man that is on £400,000 a week.
Yeah, like fair enough if he's the one said it, like he doesn't have to track back as much. But my God, you still have to do the absolute basics of defending. Like just letting him coast past you is just ridiculous. And like you said, like the amount of money he's on, like you could say it's irrelevant, but like he's the talisman and he's just not putting in the basic effort. That's the problem. And like you said, it seems like Arne Slot is almost afraid to drag him off. Like we've been speaking for weeks about maybe Salah should be dropped, and like I kind of was 50-50 on it. Like I was saying, like maybe he shouldn't be dropped as such, but he definitely should be taken off after 50-60 minutes if he's not performing. And even that's not happening. Like he still is playing 90 minutes while Federico Chiesa or Rio Ngamoha or anyone is on the bench. Like if Salah's not putting in the effort and the basic just work rate, then it's just ridiculous, because like you'll excuse a bit of that if he's banging goals in, but he hasn't been doing that either. So it is just a disgrace in all honesty. And like Diddy said there, yeah, he should have been hooked straight away after that.
So do you remember when we played Real Madrid, lads? We had a conversation about Vinicius Jr. not being arsed, not bothering tracking back, and we lambasted him for it as Liverpool fans. How is it any different, Chris, what we're seeing with Mohamed Salah? Both of them not really living up to the potential in front of goal this year, and Mohamed Salah just not trying. I mean, there's two ways to look at this in my mind. If he's not trying because he can't do it, that's a problem. And if he's not trying because he can't be bothered, that's a problem. But either way, Chris, and I think you can see where I'm going with this, that's a problem.
Yeah, and the thing is, you could sort of excuse it if he was banging goals in, like that. It's...
If you're banging goals in, mate, you can sleep with my missus. You can do whatever the hell. You can come and take a shit in the fucking bonnet of my car, and I will applaud you with a scarf from the top of the house.
That's the thing. I mean, and Mo's not even getting close. I think this year he's got this sort of new thing where he sort of tries to chop inside, and he get like he always did. But every single time he seems to sort of blast it over. Have you noticed that this season? He's sort of
taking the points. The goals.
If you don't get that, take your points. The goals will look after that. The goals will look after themselves. That's a GAA football saying.
Yeah, well, it's a bit like that. It feels like he's sort of like doing a drop goal in rugby. He'd still probably miss them at the moment. He's struggling big time. As I said, I do genuinely think, and he shouldn't, but he does massively suffer without a functioning right back, like hugely. Because
massively suffering without a functional pair of legs, Chris. Let's be honest.
True. And the fact that he's sort of seemed immune to being substituted is yeah.
Do you think that's because the manager's scared? Not necessarily of Mo coming up and going, "What are you doing?" But all that entails challenging him with media and the newspapers and the pressure from the outside and the articles that are going to be written.
Maybe. I think yesterday specifically, I suppose you can make an excuse for trying to get back in the game and having a player like Mo Salah on the pitch, but it can't be like that every game. Like you can't be just relying on him to magic something out of nothing when he's had a real struggle. Yeah, maybe he is. I honestly couldn't tell you, but I personally would have substituted Mo Salah more than Arne Slot has.
I think it'd be easier as well, to be fair, if we were actually winning games. Like I feel like when we're losing, if you start taking Salah out, there's pressure again. Then like you've taken out your best player and you're still losing. It's kind of like, does it kind of double up then? Like if we were winning games but Salah was shit, it's probably easier to take him out because you can take him out and still continue winning. But I think like when we're already down the dumps, he probably is a little bit scared of the attention that will bring if he takes off one of his best players and then we still continue to lose.
What in the holy Ibrahim Kanade is going on in defence, Chris? I mean, you know where I'm going with this. The man is... Look, I've got to be careful what I'm saying here, but there should be no contract offer at this point. It should be brought back, ripped up, cancelled, and he should be sent off on his merry way. There is no way that man should be stepping on a football pitch in a Liverpool shirt again after the absolute holy show he's made of himself and us over the last couple of months. Look, that is basic bitch defending. To jump over the ball after the week before giving away the corner, which was unnecessary, that led to the goal. It just is a calamity, mate. And I've got nothing else to say. And it again takes the manager to see this happening again and then takes him off. He shouldn't have been on the pitch. What the fuck is going on at centre back?
Yeah, the thing is, I don't blame Arne for playing him because, like, your only other option is Gomez, and Gomez in the several matches that he's played this year, has looked pretty poor. And
Gomez was on the bench and he's not fit, along with 2 goalkeepers. We had 3 less players on the bench than the opposing team who travelled from fucking the Netherlands. My God, Rob.
It's almost like, should we just get Nallo in and just play with 10 men?
Put in, stick anyone in. At this point,
yeah,
you just have some self-respect.
It is. That's the thing, because like, and that's where I have some sympathies, because like realistically with Konate, I understand that he's been playing really, really poorly, but your options there are limited, like really limited. And that is where actually I will point some blame at the board, because that Gahey deal should have been done earlier.
Well, I wanted to bring something up on that actually. The lad, I watch Sky Sports back pages tonight every night. If I don't watch it, I'll record it and watch it later. And the journalists on there were saying, and I'd love to get your take on this, lads. They were saying that we didn't help ourselves by dragging out the deals for Mark Gay and Alexander Isak in the summer. And I've got to say, whilst I agree on the Mark Gay one, I kind of disagree, Conor, on the Isak situation. I don't think Liverpool really dragged that out over the summer so much as they were getting no indicators back that it may actually be possible, and then it was a last minute thing. But on Mark Gay, I see where they're coming from.
Yeah, like you could argue Mark Gahey, if we'd added another whatever £5 million, maybe we could have had him sewn up 2 or 3 months before the deadline day. So I understand the point on that. To be fair, Isak is a different story. Like that was him being held hostage and we had to hold off. But then again, like we did have 4 centre backs at the time. Then you could argue if Mark Gahey had come in, would Joe Gomez have left, and we'd still only have 3 options now. So yes, it would have helped obviously have Mark Gahey in there instead of Joe Gomez. But then like Leone's injury is not ideal and couldn't have been really planned for either. So I do understand it, but I don't think it would have been make or break either. Like it would have helped obviously, but I don't think if Mark Gahey was in this squad, I don't think that completely fixes everything. So there is something to it, but yeah, I wouldn't go as far to say that it would have completely solved the season or anything.
At West Ham on Sunday, Craig, I'm interested to know what you think, but would you play Endo at centre back?
Yes.
You would.
Yes.
See. I'd be.
I play Gomez at right back.
I'd be so scared of playing Endo at centre back.
He's played more games as centre back than DM in his career, though. People forget that. Like he is small, which doesn't help, but like he does have a lot of experience playing centre back.
I'll allow Endo a mistake 10 times quicker now than I'd allow Konate another one.
Yeah, I mean Konate is better than Endo at centre back, like overall. I think
of course. But like Endo, at least doing the basics right is important now at this point.
I think at this point it's more about making a statement, isn't it? It's more about just going like, right, that is unacceptable. I'm going to put a fella who's not even a centre back in instead here. Like, you know what I mean?
I would actually, I'd play Endo in midfield. I personally, I'd have him in there just for that very reason in terms of protection. I know we're going to go on to Gravenberch in a bit, but I feel like we're really missing a dog in front of those centre backs because they can't seem to be protected or protect themselves at the moment. So you may as well have another body in there to do that. I don't know whether you'd be losing a lot, but yeah, it's an interesting one with that.
It is, because if you take away from midfield or if you put him in midfield, then what are you doing with Ryan? Are you putting him back at centre back or are we dropping him? Say again?
I would either drop him or put him at centre back. I'd rather him at centre back than Endo.
So who are we putting in right back then?
At the moment, it's probably Soboslai still, which is, again, you're losing, or Jones, but you're losing that. So maybe Calvin Ramsey, like an actual functioning right back. Like, fucking, what is going on? What's happening?
Ramsey I could get that shout because obviously he wasn't available last night. It wasn't a selection that the team could have made. But your thoughts on that one, Connor, for the centre back situation for West Ham?
Yeah, I think anyone but Konate at this point. Like if Gomez is half fit, shove him in there and then stick Jones, Soboslai, Ramsey, right back, whatever you want to put in there. But I'd probably go Endo over Gravenberch in all honesty. I don't really understand the shout for Gravenberch at centre back. Like I know he kind of fulfills that role a little bit at the minute, kind of dropping in between the centre backs and stuff. But I think like he is too good in midfield ultimately, and I know he's under criticism as well. But I think I would rather have him in midfield ultimately. And I think McAllister, by the way, is having he's gone way under the radar for how shit he's been this season. He has been absolutely horrendous, and no one's talking about it. Like people want to criticise Gravenberch for not being an absolute destroyer in midfield, but like we're being told that he's allowed to go forward. So maybe that's just an instructions thing. But McAllister has been completely off it as well.
I agree, and on those two, between them, Chris, there's no bite there. You know what you would have said about Maka is he's a little pit bull. He gets stuck in 100% effort. I know he's not the DM, but he used to do his fair share in the engine room. And then you had Gravenberch, who was stepping across, making some blocks, press resistant, starting to play through the lines a little bit. And as Conor said, it's all kind of just falling apart. We're so easy to get through the middle against.
Yeah, 100%. And last night, I mean, the amount of time they would just bypass McAllister was like, it was embarrassing. And it was like he was running through treacle. He's never been the quickest, but my goodness. And I think Lucy Ward mentioned it on commentary last night. Like, if you could just bottle Szoboszlai and just put him across the 11 in terms of the effort. I wanted to single him out today and just say he is exempt from this.
Can I just tell you something I read from Graham Souness about him, because it wound me up. Souness was speaking about Szoboszlai, said he strikes the ball lovely, classy midfielder in possession, but he actually said he doesn't think he does enough defensively. And I thought, I don't know what he's watching. I don't know what games he's watching, because if I could single out one player who does his off the ball work, it's him.
Sorry?
Yeah, I know.
Did he say like defensive effort, or was he saying like at right back he's not defensive enough? What was the context?
It was that it was just that whenever he plays, but in general, wherever he plays, he's great on the ball. He's great looking forward, but he doesn't do enough of the dirty work getting back. And I couldn't know if I'm getting that in any way slightly off. That fair enough, but it was on a piece with, I think it was a TalkSport or somebody. No, the Echo. The Echo did it. He was speaking to the Echo. That's what it was on. I think it was via Sky Bet. They were speaking with the Echo, and basically he said that I'll tell you what, you give me your take on it and I'll find you the exact quotes.
Well, I think that's sort of I summed it up. I think the one thing you can say about Szoboszlai this season is that he's put in 100%, and actually he's probably been our best player all year, to be honest. Like even before the end of the season, he's been good. But as I say, bottle Szoboszlai and your midfield is complete, really. But Gravenberch and McAllister haven't given enough, especially in the last 12 games.
It's I just thought it was insane to be criticising Dom for his off the ball work, because if all of us could pick one player who we say is pulling his weight, Conor, I would say it is Szoboszlai.
100%, yeah, him. And I was going to say someone else, but no, it is just him, really, isn't it? Like, he just puts in the effort every week, and he's the only player who has looked good consistently. Like, Gravenberch towards the end or the start of the season was probably our best player, but over the course of the however many games we played, 15 or whatever, he definitely is the top, and he's the only one you can say has never had an absolute stinker of a game. Like, he has been putting the effort every time, and yeah, without doubt our best player this season. And ridiculous take from Souness, like to say he doesn't do off the ball defensive work is just completely, like, you must be blind if you're saying that.
I have the article here, so I'm just going to try and find the exact section on it. It's just
totally exempt from criticism from me.
Yeah, I can't find the exact link because the Echo's making me. The Echo's resized and fucking up 15 ads and making me just want to stop.
Do you want to pay the subscription, Craig? Pay the subscription.
Do you know I actually did have a premium once upon a time just to get rid of the ads, but even at that, I couldn't be bothered. Anyway, have a search of it yourself if you get a chance. If you're listening, you'll see what I mean. It's a piece that they did with him, I think, a day ago. But yeah, I just want to bring it up.
I found it here. So he said, but my only concern is when the ball changes hands and you're no longer in possession. Does he sense any danger? Does he sense it quick enough? The way the game is played, possession changes hands, and within 2 passes, someone is having a pop at your goal. I like to watch him play football. He's an elegant player, but I think collectively the midfield could do better when they don't have the ball.
See, pretty much what I was saying. Not moving up off the ball.
Well, you can say that. I think you can definitely say that about McAllister. I think you can definitely say that about him, but I don't think. I think that actually perfectly fits McAllister and what he's saying. But not Szoboszlai. I think that's total bollocks.
Good. I'm glad you think the same. Let's move on to have a quick look ahead to Sunday's game. 2 o'clock kickoff. Unfortunately, we do. Yeah, we've got to try and pretend like this might go differently for a few minutes. So, 2 o'clock on Sunday in London against a team who are not in the greatest of form, a team who you would normally be rubbing your hands to go down there and play against because the atmosphere is not the best inside that stadium, not because of West Ham's fans, because of that stadium, and the fans aren't really happy down there either with the board. So you would think this could be a pretty fruitful Sunday afternoon, gents. But what I want to know is, give me an 11. Let's talk through the 11 for this one. It looks like Alisson's back training, so that's good news. He's going to be back. It was an illness that kept him out. Are we all in agreement then that, if possible, Ramsey at right back?
I'd be happy with that, yeah.
I think I would play him, yeah. If it were, I don't think Slot will, by the way, but I think I would.
And then alongside Virgil, who are we going for at centre back? I mean, I'm going to stick with my Endo shout, but the floor is yours, Chris.
Fuck.
So we just spin the wheel of any other.
It's a bit like that, isn't it? If he's fit, Gomez. That would be my choice.
At least I could understand that. At least there's some sense to it. I mean, it's right to be said for Georgie. Throw him in there, 6'6". Just head everything that comes your way. And if not Alice, we know Allison can do it. We know he's a great header of the ball.
Oh yeah.
I joke, but I also sort of know. It's I don't know. Connor, your take, right centre back. Actually, can we use one of those training ground things they use for the walls? You know, when you're trying to practice your free kicks and you put the wall in front of it, the dummies. Can we use one of them?
Yeah, that'd work. They certainly move more than Canate anyway. Yeah, I'd probably go Gomez if fit, if not Endo, or else at this point I'd nearly keep the Kirkes wasn't great last night either, to be fair, but keep Kirkes on the left, put Andy Robertson at centre back, maybe swap Virgil over to the right at this point. I think that's even better than Canate at this point. Like,
I think we should just impale the back four with a rod and play a game of like fuzzball with them, you know, so we can control them and we can see which we can move them side to side and spin the legs and heads. That'd be great because there's no way Canady would have jumped over the ball then.
True, yeah.
So left back, gents. I think we all know Virgil has to play somewhere. So left back, what are we going for here? Connor, you've moved. Have you moved Robertson into centre back? So are you giving us the
I'd go Gomez. That'd be third option. Gomez first, then Endo, then that. But outside of that, yes, I would go Robertson left back with Van Dijk, Endo, Calvin Ramsey. What a defence that is.
Yeah, that's one for the ages there, Chris. That could easily jump straight out of the Roy Hodgson era.
Yeah, a little bit. I would play Kirkes if you actually play him properly. Like that's the frustrating thing. Like it's just like this guy's got a skill set that is totally different to the way he's being used, and we're continuing to try and do it that way. It does my head in. But yeah, Robertson.
Same with me. I agree. Moving into midfield, any changes to the three?
Can you? I don't know how.
I guess you could argue Jones could go in there ahead of one of them.
I'd probably put Gravenberch, Jones. Obviously, I keep Mac out.
Yeah, I'd probably go with the three, just because it did work against Villa and Real Madrid. So, yeah, about 3 games ago.
It's this is probably the most depressing team selection I think I've ever been a part of. It's so.
Is there anything to be said for Jay Spearing?
It's
he's got experience in these situations.
Exactly. Yeah, he's used to being shit.
He's only a kid though. When he develops, Jay, you know, when he
There's too much pressure on the body and all.
So yeah, that's the midfield. That's 3 Casper friendly ghosts in there who'll be run through like they're not there. And now up top, give us. I believe it's good news on Ekitike, just a bit of a spasm. So you know, a bit of DP and he should be fine. Hopefully for Sunday. So what are we doing then, gents, for the first? Surely, of all the areas of the pitch, this is the one he's got to start mixing it up in somewhat. So you know, let's pretend for a minute he might drop Salah. What would you do across the front 3? Would you try to play Ekitike and Isak together, or would you try to do something different or put, you know, Salah, Gakpo? We know he's not playing Chiesa, so
West Ham defensively are absolute food. Like surely, like Salah, Isak, and Ekitike can score against those 3. Like if West Ham keep a clean sheet on Sunday, like I'll come to the next podcast with no beard. Like they cannot defend. They are rubbish. But we'll lose. So I shouldn't have said that.
Connor, for you, the front 3?
Yeah, I would say Chiesa, but he's just not going to get chances. So if I could pick, I'd go. I was trying to think, would I even start Isak or not? Because I think he's been pretty poor as well. So like, you
I
go
thought he actually
Ekitike
looked all
left.
right when he came on last night.
Well, we just can't get the ball to him.
himself
You know what I mean?
about a bit.
Like when we can't actually get the ball to him and get him to actually do the things he can do, is very point even playing him. But like I think if everyone's playing well, I think Ekitike left, Isak, and then Salah. But given the fact Salah's not playing well, I put Chiesa. So probably Ekitike, Isak, Salah. But I'm fully expecting it to be Salah, Isak, Gakpo, in all honesty.
So am I. That exact three you've named is fully what I'm expecting. Now, to finish up on the, it is the season of goodwill and Christmas is around the corner and all, gents, and it's time for fairy tales. So give us a positive score prediction, Chris.
So obviously we're going 1-0 down. I think that's pretty obvious. But we're going to make a sort of like a Cinderella. We'll have a Cinderella story and we'll bring it back. A nice 2-1 victory. Last minute winner.
Usually fairy tales are somewhat believable.
I know, yeah. But West Ham are so bad, by the way. Can we just make it clear? West Ham. We are worried about West Ham. What's happened? What happened to my boys?
Mate, I had people last night trying to convince me the PSV Eindhoven were Pep's Barcelona, basically trying to say like justify anything. But it's just so sad at the minute.
You know how I was worrying about like Sunderland at home and you were mocking me? Like you understand now. This is
me
reality
mocking you. That doesn't sound right.
This is the reality
Never.
we're in now. This is we should be worried about Nuno's West Ham. Jesus Christ.
Low block, baby. Low block. Here we go. Low
My
block.
goodness.
Counter-attacking football. Jared Bowen hat-trick.
God. We'll be linked to him in the summer as well. Guarantee it. Anyway.
So Connor, give us your Christmas carol.
6-0. I'm not telling you which team too, but 6-0.
Oh, lads, I'm going to be optimistic here. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Oh, huge.
Whoa, calm down now. Come on, let's not be getting ahead of ourselves now.
That's insane.
2-2 draw, and then the I told you so's to come out from all the slot in merchants with the telling us, see, he's turning around. He's turning around. We're only 11th.
Like, even if we do go out and win 6-0, does that actually change anything realistically?
No. He's got to win.
That's the problem. Like, that's how you know it's gone too far. We could win 10-0 and everyone would still be like, yeah, that was good. But
what gets me is the people are like, would you take him to finish 12th but win the Champions League? And I'm like, well, if he's still 12th at that point, we're playing that badly. He shouldn't be in a job to win the Champions League.
And we're probably not winning the Champions League at that point.
Another side rant. Sorry, just before we go. I hate this when people say, oh, yeah, but you'd have taken it if you'd have been told last season that we'd win the league. But no, this is fantasy bullshit. I hate it when people say like, oh yeah, you'd have taken it if you'd have been told you won the league and then finished 17th this season. Like, yeah, obviously I would, because I love winning the league. But like, that's not how life works. Like, just come on, be better with your.
The whole thing
shit.
is going backwards. This should have been last season. You would have almost not expected it, but you would have understood it a lot better if this was last season. But to have won it and just ripped up the playbook and just gone so far backwards, look. Last question: does this feel like a lost cause at this point? Do you think there is any world whatsoever, any way, any world, any chance that he turns this around?
I think we'd be looking at 1% chance. So we'd be looking at a miracle.
I think he literally has to win like 6, 7, 8 games in a row now at this point. Even then, I think still a lot of fan base will be 6, 7. Yeah, who knows that? Yeah, I feel like even at that point, though, like at what point would the fan base go again? Like, yes, this is the man. We trust him again. Like, I think it would take a lot to swing this round to have like full trust in him again. So for me, it's basically unsalvageable unless he wins next.
And we've got to play well. We've got to play well as well, because we just haven't played well even when we have won games this year. So we've got to like actually. To be honest, I'd take anything actually. If we win the next 10 games playing awful Brexit football, I'll take it. Don't care. Just win football matches.
There you go. And on that positive note, ladies and gentlemen, there comes the end of another Anfield Agenda podcast. We appreciate your time as always. Look, we know everyone's suffering at the minute. We try to just take this with a lighthearted nature in some points, but we do appreciate that you guys are as frustrated as we are. So do let me know your thoughts in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. And if you're watching this on Spotify, please do give us a rating as well if you've enjoyed it. Thank you so much to Conor and Chris. yeah, we're off to get into the festive spirit. We'll talk to you soon. Much love.